clarification by the Cambodian Human Rights Committee in response to 6 NGO Open Letter raising grave concerns over the human rights situation in Cambodia and serious democratic threat in the upcoming 2024 Cambodia Senate Election. The Cambodian Human Rights Committee notes with disappointment the bombardment fueled by ungrounded facts and blatant exaggerations aimed at dismantling Cambodia's legitimate institutions. In the recent open letter penned by 6 non-governmental organizations, NGOs, ASEAN Parliamentarians for Human Rights, APHR, Asia Democracy Networks, AND, ASEAN Forum for Human Rights Development, Forum Asia, ASEAN Network for Free Elections, and FREL, Civicus, World Alliance for Civic Participation, and Human Rights Watch. Despite numerous explanations, clarifications, and constructive dialogues by competent authorities, these NGOs lay bias and false claims against the royal government of Cambodia and alleged poverty situation that do not reflect the reality of Cambodia, while twisting the concept of human rights and democracy to benefit their own selfish political agenda. Pertaining to these bias and false claims, the CNRC is compelled to respond with the following information. 1. Dissolution of the Cambodian National Rescue Party, CNRP, and disqualification of the Candlelight Party. Based on Mr. Kum Sakha's video footage, in which he confessed to overthrow the royal government of Cambodia through a color revolution, model after those carried out in Yugoslavia and Serbia, the Funsipic Party and the Cambodian Youth Party filed separate complaints to the Ministry of Interior, requesting for the dissolution of the CNRP. Based on these complaints, as provided for by the Law on Political Parties, LPP, the Ministry of Interior proceeded to submit the case to Supreme Court for adjudication. In addition to Mr. Kum Sakha's video footage, there is ample evidence, as confirmed by Mr. Kum Sakha, that criminally implicate him and other senior officials of the CNRP. The act of treason of Mr. Kum Sakha, as the top official of the CNRP, partially implicate the CNRP. Ms. Kumanovichia, a doctor of Mr. Kum Sakha, then member of CNRP Standing Committee and Deputy Director General of Public Affairs, pointed out that this plan was not committed by Kum Sakha alone. It was done in a systematic manner by the whole CNRP as an entity. Mr. Eng Chai Ing, Vice President of the CNRP, affirmed cooperation outside the country with the convicted Mr. Samrangsi and Mr. Samrangsi gathering with CNRP parliamentarians are proof to the systematic act of treason linked to the CNRP, which is flagrant violation of points 6 and 7 of Article 6 New 2 and 7 of the LPP. An interview with Radio Free Asia OFA on 27 October 2017 confirmed openly and illegal interactions between CNRP parliamentarians and the convicted Mr. Samrangsi. Based on overwhelming evidence, including those cited above, the Supreme Court came to the conclusion that the CNRP conspired with a foreign power to overthrow the legitimate government of Cambodia by way of a color revolution, and such an act is illegal against the Kingdom of Cambodia, harming national security and is a threat to the peace of the country, in clear violation of point 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and Act of Article 6 New 2 and 7 of the LPP. The Supreme Court issued its final judgment on 16 November 2017 to dissolve the CNRP and ban political activities of the 118 CNRP leaders for a 5-year term in accordance with Article 44 New 2, which state that a political party that violates Article 6 new 2 and Article 7 of this law, the court may decide to either suspend the activities of the political party for a period of no longer than 5 years or dissolve the political party. The decision of the Supreme Court was made by a panel of 9 judges at a public hearing held in accordance with the court procedure of the Royal Government of Cambodia, whereby all relevant parties were afforded the opportunity to present their defense by appointing their own representatives or legal defense team. Following the Supreme Court summons, the CNLP chose not to file a defense petition nor have appointed representatives or lawyers to attend the court proceeding, which is tantamount to an abandonment of their legal rights to defend themselves before the court. Such court practice do not differ from those of other countries, whether they belong to common law or civil law system. By refusing to participate in the court proceedings, the CNLP not only abandons its rights to legal defense, but also acquiesces to a guilty plea in absentia for its violations of the various provisions of the LPP. According to Article 128 new and Article 113 new of the Constitution, the judicial power is an independent power entrusted to the Supreme Court and the courts at all levels, and no organ of the legislature or executive power can interfere in these affairs and decisions of the court. The Supreme Court's decision is a decision of an independent institution of a sovereign state. The implementation of judicial decisions in the country is the internal affair of a sovereign state. Such principles are enshrined in Articles 2.1, 2.4, and 2.7 of the Charter of the United Nations. Non-enforcement of law will jeopardize the country's national security and peace. As a state that upholds the rule of law, Cambodia cannot take lightly the threat to the peace and stability of the nation, nor can it allow the CNLP to evade legal consequences of its illegal actions. Regarding the Candlelight Party, to state that the Candlelight Party is precluded from participating in July national election is incorrect. The fact is that the party itself did not scrupulously observe the electoral law despite repeated notification and instruction from the competent authorities. The absence of the party from electoral process is due to party own failure in submitting a copy of the original party registration document as stated in Article 27, Law on the Election of Members of the National Assembly. Compliance with administrative election procedures is essential to ensure the integrity of the electoral process and uphold the value of democracy and the rule of law. Party registration entails a vital element of guaranteeing that the party is lawfully founded and will operate in accordance to the Constitution. The National Election Committee (NEC) is responsible for implementing the election process with one single standard to all parties based on the principles of fairness, transparency, and due process, as would any electoral governing body operating in other countries respecting the rule of law. NEC does not have any preferential treatment for one specific political party, while 18 other political parties could comply with the election registration process. Non-compliant political parties should not be given special privilege that would be considered as double standard otherwise. The prohibition and dissolution of political parties are not a novel enactment of imagination used to serve political agendas. It is a necessary mechanism to ensure that democratic values are protected, especially in case of inciting violence and intolerance and triggering xenophobia and racism. Many countries with similar laws can be found all across the world. For example, Portugal and Denmark prohibit political parties from encouraging violence. France prohibit spreading hatred and discriminating based on ethnicity, nationalities, race, or religion. Indonesia ban unlawful conduct that defames individuals, religion, and ethnic groups, provoke conflicts, violate public order, and incite violence. And the Philippines can refuse registrations of political parties when they attempt to achieve their goals by unlawful means, refuse to adhere to the constitution, or are supported by foreign government. Cambodia adopts the same approach consistent with international practice. It has an obligation to protect and ensure respect for its constitution. 2. Implementation of law. Cambodia does not have any so-called political prisoners, but rather politicians and individuals who have committed crimes and flagrant offenses that must be punished by the law accordingly. Cambodia praise and respect genuine contribution of social, environmental, and human rights defenders to further bring about positive growth in Cambodia. Cambodia does not condemn those who use and exploit that human rights agenda for political purpose. The recent enforcement of law against some activists is neither because they are working to protect human rights, the environment, and society, nor are they activists, but because they have engaged in criminal activities, violating the law with regard to disseminating false information that instigate tension, racial, hatred, and xenophobia, inciting violence to stir social unrest, insulting the monarchy, and conjuring conspiracy. In all of these cases, the authority possess concrete evidence and a strong legal basis. Court mechanisms are always available to those who wish to challenge authority enforcement of law. They can pursue legal means by participating in court proceedings and presenting strong legal evidence. This is the legal process in a democratic society that respects the rule of law. The arrest, charge, and conviction of the aforesaid person are in accordance with the law of the Kingdom of Cambodia. In a society governed by the rule of law, individual rights and freedom shall be exercised within the framework of the law, and those that exercise rights beyond the limit of the law, affecting the rights of others, shall be responsible before the law. One cannot be exempt from legal consequences when there is disregard for existing legal procedure to conduct unlawful acts. Furthermore, politicizing judicial narratives and manipulating the public by sowing the seed of distrust for their own political agendas must be vehemently deplored. 3. Political space and development. In the last 25 years, from 1998 to 2023, Cambodia has emerged as a sovereign and independent state, fully attaining peace, respect for the rule of law, and political stability, with the king abiding by the constitution, a liberal multi-party democracy system, and respect for human rights within the context of Cambodian society. Regular elections are held every 5 years in Cambodia to maintain multi-party diversity and ensure that a space of political freedom is guaranteed by the law without irregularity or disruption. The 7th National Assembly election, held on 23 July 2023, with a total of 18 parties competing, took place successfully in a calm, secure and safe environment without violence or threats, and with a high voter turnout rate of 84%. The high voter turnout is proof showcasing Cambodians exercising their constitutional rights in choosing parties and leaders to best represent them to achieve social economic development with peace and stability. The voting process was monitored by 422 international observers representing 65 nationalities from 61 institutions consisting of international organizations, foreign governments, and diplomatic circles. The electoral proceeding was also closely observed by nearly 60,000 political party agents and 90,000 independent national observers, attesting to the fairness and transparency of the process. The fifth mandate commune and district council election 2022 was held on 5 June 2022, with 17 political parties participating in total. These parties competed to hold 11,622 commune council seats from 1,652 communes and districts nationwide. The number of people who went to vote was close to 7.3 million people, about 80% of the 9.2 million registered voters. The cooperation agreement between 28 political parties signed on 25 October 2023 exemplifies the strengthening of collaboration and the promotion of liberal multi-party democracy, guarantee of human rights, respect for the rule of law and justice, national unity, safeguard of peace, political stability, security, and social order for the purpose of improving people's livelihoods. The Supreme Consultative Council was established by the royal government in the 6th legislature. The council continues to promote the political system of a liberal multi-party democracy to gather inputs of pluralistic views for the benefit of nation building in the 7th legislature. The composition of the council consists of 27 political parties, including parties who were contesting the 7th National Assembly election and parties who did not join the national election. The 5th Senate election is scheduled to take place on 25th February 2024 as a non-universal indirect election and by means of secret ballot, as it takes place every 6 years. The electors and electorate are the incumbent members of parliament and the entire member of commune and district council in current position within the framework of each region. The National Election Committee has notified the number of 62 senators in the 5th legislature, and the electoral constituency are to be organized into 8 regions. Cambodia has emerged from the ruin of the Khmer Rouge genocide with the total collapse of institutions and the loss of nearly 2 million people. In such a short span of time and space, it has grown into a country with peace, stability, dynamic growth, and economic, social, and cultural development. Millions of people have been lifted out of poverty with decent livelihoods, education, welfare, and significantly increased life expectancy, rising from 59 years in 1998 to 76.8 years in 2019. Through the win-win policy of Samdech Techo Hun Sen, former Prime Minister of Cambodia, the convergence of concentrated efforts to promote and protect human rights can be seen by prioritizing human capital development through social protection and assistance expansion, support for emergency response, and enhancing welfare holistically within the Pentagonal Strategy Phase 1 of Samdech Mahabawatthapadayi Hun Manet. Constant criticism, threat of sanctions, and bias blame to incite hatred and violence will not be conducive to promote positive change, pursue development, and safeguard social unity, but rather it would only undermine the country's effort to respect the rule of law, destabilize the fragility of peace, and plunge the country into turmoil. Bias preconception in favor of the opposition is a deliberate attempt to destabilize democracy and dismiss ongoing achievement and development, and should undergo careful consideration to ensure the prevention of lapse of judgment and cause further widespread fabricated narratives that do not reflect the realities of Cambodia. For more information, please contact the spokespersons of the CHRC. His Excellency Mr. Papanarada, telephone number 012-686-798. His Excellency Mr. Sriang Chanda, telephone number 077-335-644. Phnom Penh, 26 December 2023.